Sorry. There we go. Wire freed. Sorry.
It's okay. Sounds like that was an achievement.
Yeah, well, with him, because he's so stubborn, it is an achievement to do anything. And he also just likes to lay on my arm, and I don't know. He's funny. So, anywho, all right. What
Yeah.
else
So what are the
we've got?
components of look on if you have the book, look at page 173. I was curious on your thoughts of their fundamentals of why storytelling. I think I look at it more of fundamentals of creating a tangible, clear, and engaging story.
Mm-hmm. What do I think of this?
Yeah, what are your thoughts? Because this is the basis for the next for a big section.
Yeah. So make the new tangible, explaining a new untested. Yeah. Clarification is well. So I think the big thing is that last point that they make: engaging people. People are moved more by stories than by logic.
Yep.
Um, so just like okay, so we're both Christians. We talk a lot. Are
Yes,
within
but I'm
the
more Christian than you.
yes, because you're Orthodox.
That's right.
um, people people talk about proselytizing and doing and converting other people to Christianity, and it's the truth to any of the other religions and things like that as well. The truth of the matter is, like, you can sit and you can make logical, good, strong arguments to become a Christian all day long, but nobody's going to actually listen to those arguments. And it's the same thing with converting people to atheism. A lot of atheists can make good, strong, logical arguments to become an atheist, but
But
just
they
by
found the best way to convert you to atheism is to confuse your children.
yes, but it doesn't matter. Like no, your arguments and your logic and all of that stuff does not matter. What matters is the story that you tell. So, and a lot of it is when it comes to atheists, when you sit down and you talk to atheists, because a lot of them will sit there and complain. Well, no, I just sat down and I did the logic. I logicked out of myself to atheism. It's like no, you didn't. I
Mm-hmm.
when you sit down and you actually really sit and think about it and you explore it, it is what ended up happening is there something happened, some sort of story happened. Maybe you sat down and you were believing for a long time, and you prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed for somebody's um, recovery, and instead of them recovering, they died. And then out of that grief, out of that sorrow, and out of that hurt, because it is hurt, you just decided, well, because even though I prayed and I prayed like they told me to do, there is no God then. So it's things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of Christians, it's, well, I was in a really bad spot in life. I was going through a horrible time and I cried out to God and he answered. Oh my gosh, I just realized something. Anyway, I'll tell you in a second.
Okay.
Um, I re- I realized something, or I came to God, and God helped me through this scenario. And as I've been growing and going through my faith, I'm becoming a better person. I have now given up. I've now, and that just demonetized us completely. Um,
Well, we can clip that out. We can give up peeing.
yeah, that's making it even worse. Um, the current terminology is corn.
You know
I
what?
gave
I
up
made that joke up
corn.
with my kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, so my 20-year-old, I made this joke when he was like 4.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yep. And
Anyway,
then he, of
don't tell
course,
the joke.
grew into it.
Uh, so it's that story, the story of change, that really affects people and really brings people in, and that's kind of like what we're talking about. Like, so why is it that we want to tell a story, especially with business models? because we want to tell the story of change, and we want to tell the story of how that business model is going to go about affecting that the change that our customers want to see, because every customer really wants that and wants to know and understand, okay, not just how is this product going to help me or make my life better, but it's more, how is this product going to change me, how is this product going to change my life. And
Hmm.
and you can see it, like we joked about seeing about Coca-Cola and Pepsi, like everybody knows them, nobody's going to get, like nobody's, like they're not creating ads for discovery at all. They know that these people, that the sodas exist and such, the soft drinks exist. What they're trying to do right now at this point is show you the change that you go through by purchasing Coca-Cola, by drinking Coca-Cola. Like,
Hmm.
sit down and actually look at the next ad from one of those companies and see the type of change that they are trying to sell. And
Hmm.
that's storytelling. Because if you can't understand that and you can't tell that, then your business model probably isn't the right one for you, and probably isn't going to create the change that you are looking for with your business.
Yeah.
Did I
Yeah.
sum all that up pretty well?
You summed it great. You summed it great. You just left out that sometimes you have to really BS things.
And that's kind of like the sad thing. Oh, there it is. I was wondering where that is. All right, next. What are you talking about next?
Oh goodness. I was so excited that we talked about that I got overwhelmed from how much progress we made today. From
2 pages.
a perspective. 'Cause, Uh, how to make those tangible, right? We just
Mm-hmm.
talked about that. You have to essentially consider the company perspective, the customer perspective. What kind of jobs does it satisfy for the customer, right? Is it's a compelling, powerful story? So
Yeah.
you love that, I think, making the future tangible. You actually explained that in an amazing way too. Wow, you're badass. You covered like 10 pages in nothing. You inspired
Oh
me
yeah.
again.
I try.
Okay,
Try to
techniques,
inspire.
Mister Inspiring.
Techniques. Where page is
Techniques.
that?
178.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is a big one. Okay, so the techniques that they talk about here are talk and images, video clip, role play, text and image, instead of talking an image, text an image, and
Mm-hmm.
then a comic strip. So there's a lot of different times and places to use these things. So things like video clips are big for when you're trying to reach a large audience. And in my personal opinion, the audience outside of your company. Um, it is video is like is a very powerful tool. Uh, Instagram is kind of discovering how powerful it is, and businesses on Instagram are discovering how powerful that is. TikTok is not a good it's it's a good place. So okay,
Is
one of the
TikTok still legal in the states?
they signed a law. It's most likely going to be challenged at some point in the very near future. So one of the hard okay, TikTok video showed how powerful video is and how powerful things can go viral, and so many people can see multiple things at a time or at once. The problem with TikTok is when you start following somebody on TikTok, they don't ever show you those videos again. You kind of have to like dig to see those videos. So TikTok is wonderful for discovery. If you're a new company, everything, like TikTok is a great way to go and get your product out there in the sense of getting it discovered. You can even like run ads on it and get some really good traction. but the problem is that they don't do a good job of showing you to other people. Now, when TikTok came out, it actually really proved to Instagram video how powerful video is, because then Instagram immediately went around and introduced the same thing. Instagram had long form video for a while, but like nobody really wanted to go onto Instagram and watch long form video. It just wasn't gaining any sort of traction there.
Hmm.
But people loved the short form, so things like the sweet spot for
The
videos
reels.
on Instagram is about 7 seconds, give or take. And so the question there is like, how can you tell a story within 7 seconds? And it's actually surprisingly easy to do. um it's really cool to do. And like I've had a couple of
Tell me about that,
reels.
senpai.
I've had a couple of reels where like it just goes super fast, and they go so viral. It's so cool. A lot of it is okay. The secret sauce for that is it needs to be fun, needs to be
Hmm.
entertaining, and you need to solve a conflict within all of that, and you have to solve that conflict in a fun, entertaining way. So something along the lines of from a software, like if you're a software company, a software perspective, what is one tiny thing that your software solves for a customer? Uh, okay, cool. Like, so then you need to
Hmm.
showcase that, and you need to be able to do that very quickly. But so like video is great for that. It's also a great way to show the process and show what's going on within the process of things. Um, Role play is phenomenal when you're in a like in an in-person meeting. Uh, I've seen this done, and I've seen it done really well. What you kind of want to do with that is get, like, if you're in a group and you have a group of people trying to create this business model, what you end up doing is bringing people in and saying, okay, you are going to be the customer, you are going to be the salesperson, you're going to be the business. And then you start trying to role play those things out and get the person who's playing the customer to act out how a customer is going to be using your product. This can backfire very quickly if the person who's role playing the customer is too familiar with the product and forgets that they are supposed to be the customer. I've seen this happen where we are testing a product and we run through so many tests and everything, and then we put it out into the world, and then we start getting in so many bug reports and uh, negative feedback from customers because we forgot that we were so used to the product and so used to seeing the product, and then the customer is trying to use it in a way that we had never anticipated. So you want to be careful with that, but it's so powerful.
Hmm.
um
Yep.
Text and images, personally, I don't think that that works very well because of the way we are used to consuming media these days. um it's good, you can do that, and you can share things, but it's also like it takes a lot of time to set that up and do that right, and then it takes more time to consume. Instead, what I think is even better is like the comic strip. I think comic strips are like a phenomenal way to visually show a story for people, and people can look at a comic strip and get the point very like super quick um, across. It's
Hmm.
kind of like talking and images, like that's giving a presentation. The number one mistake everybody makes with presentations is putting words on the screen. Don't do that. That's like you want to put facts and figures on the screen, but you don't want to put words on the screen. You want to show, like, you want visual things, you want visual elements, because when you put words on the screen, people are going to be sitting there reading what is written on the screen than actually listening to you, and your job is to explain what is on the screen. And if you put words on the screen and they're reading the words and you're trying to explain the words, it doesn't work, it just doesn't get across. But when you put an image on the screen, like some sort of a figure, and then you start describing and talking to the figure, it works. There's this wonderful TED talk out there about this guy who analyzed like pop songs. His whole
Hmm.
question was, okay, why do pop songs all sound the same? And so the way he set it up is he counted he figured out the most frequently used words in the song and put them on it put them on an x-axis and put them on a y-axis, and then then anytime like the words were used and crisscrossed, he marked off a point within the graph. And when you had a graph that had a line, just like a common line going along the same, you realized, oh, wait a second, that song is exactly like the other song. They look alike. It was the visualization of the words that really sticks with you. And so he was able to answer the question that all pop songs sound the same, because they do, because they're using all the same words and they're using all the same notes and the same themes and all these things. They're not always they're not be varying, and they're not being different. So like that's how important visuals are for storytelling, to be able to get across the point.
And to go back to one thing is some story formats just work really well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
if you like a good story out there, if there's something that's attracting you, look at that and see what it is that is engaging to you on that. And
Yep.
it probably has to do with some of the stuff you talked about before: conflict, comedy, solves a problem, there's a
Yep.
hero, there's a guide, right?
Yes. Well, and that's something we need to do. Storybook marketing. We need to go through that book. You are
Hmm.
not the hero of the story. Everybody wants to write themselves as the hero of the story, but you are not. You are Gandalf. You are Dumbledore. You are the guide. You are in you're in like Bruce Almighty, you are God. You're not Bruce. You're the one who like guides Bruce. Or in Field of Dreams, you're God. Build it and they will come. You are telling people to do things. You are not the main character of Field of Dreams, which I can't remember his name, but anyway, you are the guide for people. Guide them. Don't be the hero. Your customer is the hero.
Yep.
All right.
Nailed it.
I hope. This is
Scenarios.
something I think about a lot.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's where you're providing, it's probably one of the points that you're providing the most value,
Yeah.
but is by creating the story and relating and hitting the, make sure you've hit the target of whatever you're trying to achieve. And sometimes, even if you think it's a minor, like you laid it on, right? Sometimes you think it's a minor update, you
Yeah.
push it and you're getting a lot of negative feedback because you didn't think of the outliers, right? You
Yep.
didn't think through the story very well.
Yeah. People screw it up all the time, and it's like, you guys, you can't do that. You need to like, you need to be better at that.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
even if
scenarios.
you try, you can still screw it up. That's why it's important to split test.
Yeah.
Get it out there.
Yeah, that is actually really true. Split testing is really important. I don't want to dive into that because that is a rabbit hole.
Right? But the next natural rabbit hole is scenarios.
Oh, geez, yes, that is definitely a rabbit hole.
I remember some of our old rabbit holes.
Oh,
Okay. So, how do you make a scenario guided?
well, what are we talking about when we say scenarios? What is a scenario?
Okay. So when we're looking at scenarios, right? The purpose of it is to have a useful tool that helps guide the design of the new business model,
Yeah.
right? So it's innovating around the business model and you're thinking visually, you're prototyping, you got your storytelling, and now you finally have the scenarios that you create to pull together this abstract concepts into something that you can right in front of you and see if it's making sense. Can you take the story and your prototype, and does it actually work? Have you thought through some of the edge cases, or at least enough of them to be successful, or regionally, like people understand that, okay, this is a little bit of an edge case, fine, right? But have you thought through enough of it where you're going to be supportive to enough of your client base, market segment, that they're going to still enjoy your product, right? Is it tangible to them? And it's a good section on how to make it tangible, looking the different directions, and how to make informed decisions, and realizing that you can't solve for every problem. So you have to explore the cases and see what's left out and see if it's making enough sense to execute with.